Alright, it is video number 2. This is going to be the Huntress video. So, basically, the one thing to point out to you guys, if you're not feeling quite up to doing these and you don't want your gear completely trashed and you know you're going to completely ham it up a couple times, take off all your gear. It still takes durability damage even though you're technically in a Legends match, so just throw that out there. You don't need gear to do these. So, right out of the gate, Huntress is based on martial arts. So if you're not familiar with it, you can pick up a martial arts weapon just to get the feel, but generally the only thing you're going to need to worry about is it's basically tap, 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 that's 4, and a hold. And what that'll do is sort of a spinning slam where she hits the ground, does a little mini smoke bomb thing, and bats fly out of her ass somehow. So, when you do that, you clip it with number 3 and number 4. Very similar to the Bizarro one in that respect. She does have more of useful abilities than Bizarro did, more of them rather, but you still want to go with 3 and 4 as your primaries. Number 3 especially. Number 3 is an AoE stun that does damage to everything around you, and most of the time you're going to be fighting groups like these guys here. So, that is a really handy ability. Now, the guy in yellow is your priority target. He is the one who can summon more ads, especially if you want the feat, you need to get him out of the picture. He has some nasty stun mechanics, and he'll put a little bubble up if he gets one of them off. I don't think we're going to see one this time around, unfortunately, but basically he will do his thing there and, yeah, basically just whoop him out. Now, the guy in the suit here is the more dangerous of the two. He just has more health, and he has some block-breaking mechanics. So he uses a one-hander, always a one-hander, as long as you're familiar with that. That's basically the idea. Pretty simple. But, once again, it's 4 taps and a hold. Oh, and this pillar right here, you see that little green canister to your right? That is a venom canister. If you're ever curious what mini-boss or what extra boss you have at the end of this, if you choose to let Santo live, it's at that pillar where you saw that little green canister. If it's a green canister, then it's Bane. If it's a little bag, then it's Hush. If it's a big metal cage, it's Croc. And if it is a big, ugly-ass canister, it is Scarecrow. Now, for this boss, he uses rifle. Pretty easy tells, not much to it, unfortunately. He does have some combos that are a little difficult to see if you're not used to rifle. He definitely messed with me a little bit because I'm not much of a rifle user, so yeah, he got me caught up in a few of these before when I was just getting used to it. Now, at multiple times throughout the fight, he will grab these mobsters, he'll call them out, and they'll go to try to hit the alarm. What you want to do, ignore him completely. If you can stun him real quick, fine, but basically what you want is to get over to that mobster. If you hit your number 2 ability, it will do a grapple stun, grapple hook throw, and that will stun them in place for quite a while. They're very susceptible to this. It will mess them up big time. They'll be stuck there for quite a bit, and you can just finish them off. There's that canister again, in case you're curious. You see me running around it. So, from here, if you want to get the feat, there is a nice sneaky way. Just watch the pathing. You see your mini-map, watch where the red dots are down there, and just get these things, get these control boxes, the alarms, get them before attacking anyone, and you won't even have to fight them. Just watch the pathing. If that guy's over there, he'll either be walking closer or further away. Obviously, when he gets further away, run over, grab it, and you don't have to fight them. And you'll get the feat if you didn't already have it, if nobody was able to activate any alarms, including none of these 3 guys even activated at all.
Your friends haven't quite recovered from their kneecap activity.
Don't know why they're laying on a heap, unfortunately. I didn't hit them this time, so whatever. So here's the part that's kind of funny to me. He's all like, oh no, I'll limp away even though you haven't actually hit me. Well, I'm a villain. So I'll smack him in the back of the head. So, head on to the next part, and here is the blowtorch guy. Yeah, Johnny Blowtorch. He uses brawling. really easy tells. Just watch what he's doing. It's easy to see him coming a mile away. Half of the fight he'll be on his backside if you just watch him. Just keep using that combo 3 and 4. 3 and 4 are the big ones. Use them above anything else. If they're both on cooldown, then use the backflip one, because that will still that'll still do the same thing as the other one. It just sends you backwards, so you have to do a lunge to get close again. The first one is pretty decent, but really 3 and 4 will make your life a lot easier. Now, if you can get this guy down without using a healing barrel, that's a bonus, because you will want an extra healing barrel for the boss. The end boss in this one is by far the trouble spot. So, this mobster, basic, easy, nothing to him, just a few hits. This guy is like from the first room, the one-handed baseball bat wielding guy. Same tactics. He does switch up every now and again and does a really big pain in the ass. The I'll hit you twice and then suddenly change into a ranged attack. It's a real pain. Other than that, simple. So, activate the door, then don't go in the door, go and pick up your barrel. Now this will look a little silly, I am sorry to say. Also, you probably saw the venom canisters on the way in. They're beside his desks. You don't see them in the cutscene, but you do see it when you first run in. If you see venom canisters, it's a double confirmation you've got Bane as your enemy. If you see the statues and they look like they're actually holding spears, that means you're going to get Scarecrow. So, those are the two you can pick out from the end. You can tell early on, though, just by looking at that pillar at the beginning. Now, Santo, to me, is the most difficult of these, but that's mostly because I'm just not terribly familiar with rifle, and he has a really nasty rifle attack where he unloads on you and does a lot of damage, whether you're blocking or whether you're not blocking. I don't get what that's about. I'm not really sure what you're even supposed to do at that point. So, beat the hell out of him and ignore it, because it doesn't seem to matter whether or not you're being defensive. So, you might as well have him take damage anyway. So, start off with a slam. He gets brawling right out of the gate. Once you get him down a little bit and get him backed into the little weapon container over there, well, by the time I get him back in the container, he starts using the rifle. I'm not sure if it's timed or if he has to be in proximity, but one way or the other, he always gets the thing. Brawling, though, as you know, pretty easy tells. You can see it coming. Now, he just starts up as one of his rifles there. It seems that when he gets to his main flamethrower is when he starts to swap, like right there, you just saw a second ago. So, there's the big attack where he just starts doing heavy damage. Doesn't seem to matter what you're doing, so just wail into him. Now, there is an additional healing barrel in the corner of the room. You can pick it up if you need to. You can also get your soda use in here when you get knocked down, just like before. It's a really nice time to use it when you're on your butt. As you can see, though, rifle tells, once you get used to them, not that big a thing. You can see them pretty quickly. Without a whole lot of effort, he goes down. And that's about that. So, normally, this is where, me showing off the canisters again, that's what they look like if you're after Bane. Now, normally, this is where it would end. But I figured I would give you guys a little something extra. That would be my cat yelling in the background, if any of you are hearing that. She's apparently gone psychotic. And here we go to the next part. I'm going to show you all of the possible bosses that you can get at the end.
Now, before you got here, I was
if any of you get tired of this dialogue, I apologize. The background dialogue, after you've heard him talk, I'm on my 80-something attempt, 80-something play on this. It gets so old after you've gotten that far into it, because there's a feat for getting 100 of these things. After you've heard this guy talk about 40-some-odd times, it gets real old. So, Bane, he has brawling, obviously. Once again with brawling, easy tells, just watch for him. The occasional block will throw you off, but it's not that bad. His big trick is he'll occasionally stop and do this major stun, knocky, downy, green, glowy mess. Oh, he'll also throw a statue at you occasionally, but you can usually knock him out of that. There it is. try to block through this. It really does hurt, and the block will help. He'll usually go into a brawling combo immediately afterwards as well, so you can just burn through that. But once again, there is a healing barrel available, and hopefully you brought a bonus healing barrel in. That'll make your life easier. I personally go with this. I know she has dual pistols as well, but to be honest, martial arts is a really easy way to counter a lot of their attacks here. It's a real nice, fast way to do things. If you're really fond of dual pistols, however, sure, whatever. Just watch the tells. Most of these guys have really obvious tells. Now, he does have a couple of feints here and there, but for the most part, it's pretty basic. There he goes with his AoE of Doom. Alright, and the next one... Yeah, for some reason you can activate those. Apparently it used to be different back in the back when this came out. You could use those to hit him with and would do a stun or something, but it apparently doesn't. That's not the case anymore.
Of the Casamento family. Explain to me why the FBI has
Yeah,
of you
him again.
my mother.
What joy.
If you even think about raising an alarm, I'll shoot you where you stand.
The Huntress. How nice of you to visit. And to answer your question, your mother, Maria, and I were, very close.
Liar. You made the order to kill my family. Why? Why didn't they kill me too?
That was my
I apologize for this particular clip. I started recording as soon as this part first happened, instead of doing the smart thing and recording when the boss came up.
Murder me, your father.
But I'm fairly new to video editing, or I would have just taken it out of the middle.
I'd like to introduce my new business partner. He has a unique set of skills.
There we go, Hush. Hush uses dual pistols.
The way out.
Pretty simple to tell as well. This one's one of the easier bosses in my opinion. I think the order of difficulty goes with Casamento, then Bane, and just down from there. Hush here and Scarecrow are pretty basic, and Proc depends on how you feel about martial arts. It's a little quicker in my opinion. Now with him, Hush, he will do something where he can stun you at some points, but his big cup of tea is he will drain you of all your power and then give it back. The thing is, he'll drain you of all your power and give it all back no matter what you were at previously. So, go crazy with your abilities. Like, clip everything you can, just use as many abilities as you can, because as soon as he uses that ability, you'll be back at full bar. This is the same strategy you want to use in any time you fight Hush, like the Penguin duo. Unload on his ass, because within seconds he'll be using that ability and he'll give you full power again. But as you can see, there's not a whole lot to him. With dual pistols, a lot of their attacks are ranged. They do have some melee attacks, but a lot is ranged. Because of that, if you're using martial arts, it gives you a lot of a leg up. Alright, that is Hush down. Like I said, he's got a bag beside the first pillar if you're looking for farming him in particular. Alright, so let's see who we got this time. I got the cut right better. You see those statues? They're holding spears, which means Scarecrow. He will be the big, ugly-ass barrel beside the pillar if you're looking for him early. Now, Scarecrow uses rifle about half the time and uses one-hander the rest of the time. Everybody knows he has to have his Sinister Beaver. So, rifle, relatively easy tells once you get used to it, but he doesn't use a whole lot of really difficult attacks anyway. Basically, just tear into him. Now, every time he uses his little smoke bomb and disappears and reappears, he's getting ready to do that. See it just right there? He's getting ready to do his one-handed major attack, that little flurry attack that we've all grown to hate in this particular part. However, you know it a mile away, because the second he uses that smoke bomb, start blocking, because he's ready to start doing that shit, as you see again. Now, when he stuns you and you start hallucinating, you get statues. You remember that little AoE thing I mentioned before? You do your combo and then you slam the ground and then you hit your number 3 ability. Works wonders here. Also, blocking works wonders here. The little henchmen are very susceptible to being blocked. Little henchmen, I mean little statues, what the hell ever. So, yeah, Scarecrow to me is the easiest one of all. He is really simple, especially once you recognize where that combo comes from. That would be all of Scarecrow. Now for this one, a slight detour. This is actually Slither. I figured I would throw a little introduction since nobody has seen her yet in these videos. This is my main, so if you see her, you're welcome to say hi. I may or may not know you. She has some crazy-ass healing gear at this point, but I have some DPS stuff as well. Fun class, nature. I'll make a video about that sometime. Here we go, Croc. Now, Croc can either be your easiest or moderately difficult. The reason is martial arts is a little quicker, and it's a little more difficult to tell what he's going into because of things like that. You just saw right there. He will do a melee attack, a handful of melee attacks, and then suddenly go into a long roar, which will be a ranged attack, thus messing with you wonderfully. Loads of fun, that mess. Now, his big trick of the day, he can throw statues at you, he does have a slam, he has a long-range roar, and here he regenerates. Regeneration is a pain in the ass, unfortunately. Now, if you knock him down or stun him when he's doing that, right after when he does that, it seems to lessen the amount or maybe stop it, I'm not sure which, but it doesn't seem to be as effective when you get him on his ass while he's doing that. So, immediately afterwards, if you can block break him or hit him with your number 2 ability, which is what you saw me try there, but he knocked me down before I could get it used. It's really handy. It will make your life a little easier. He also does this little running stun thing, which is rather annoying. So he has some really annoying abilities. He's not all that terribly lethal in comparison to some of the others, but he has some really annoying abilities. They're just, you know, like that. A lot of knockbacks that knock you a freaking mile away. Then he regenerates. There we go. That time you saw it, he didn't regenerate quite as much because I stunned him on it. And like I said, he's not as lethal as the others, he's just a much bigger pain in the ass. There we go. Now, as a little bonus, I will show you once again the cage. That's where it is. That's what it looks like. That's his cage. All right, folks. That's all. Rock on. See you next time.